What's going on, everybody? Sorry we're a little late getting back to you. It's been about 8 or 9 days since the last upload. I was going to have one of my buddies from about an hour away in Goldsboro. We grew up together. I was telling him about a guy named Mo. He's a good friend of mine. He was my running back in Peewee Football. He was going to come by and do an episode, but him and his lady got COVID. So that threw a bend in our plans, and I just spent about 45 minutes writing down a few things to talk about. Berg, say what's up to these people. I'll let you go ahead and talk to them.
Another day. We're going to get into some sports. Definitely. We definitely need to talk about what's going on.
A lot's happened in this 8 days that we've been gone.
We got a lot to talk about.
A lot's happened. But outside of the sports world, Johnny Appleseed and them and Davy Crockett done broke into the Capitol building. It was a dude without a shirt on with a raccoon hat and a stick.
Viking.
A guy. Oh.
Brim on.
Oh, man.
To Draymond Green said it best.
What did he say? I saw it on Instagram, but go ahead.
He said to compare these people to actual protesters is absurd.
My God.
It's absurd. These people are terrorists. But
me and him got into it out on the porch talking about it for like an hour. I have to think that, like I said, I watch too many conspiracy videos. I believe that there is a power, like a group of people stronger than the U.S. government that makes things happen.
I think, honestly, Jesus.
Because those people...
Donald Trump was the prime orchestrator to the whole incident.
He was the messenger, but who was the guy who put that together?
He was the orchestrator.
Oh, man.
And put it together.
There wasn't a GED in a lot of them.
Where was Donald Trump when they went in there?
I don't know.
In a totally separate building.
Probably playing golf.
Period. He knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, he knew.
It.
He knew, but who told him to do that? Did it come from him? Like, who's the mastermind?
He did.
Because,
he did.
Because I know it wasn't those people.
He got a bunch of idiot followers.
Yeah.
No, that will follow him.
Oh, my.
Because these people are just as idiotic as he is. I mean, look at...
The scene was crazy.
Listen, but if I climb the fence with 30 of my people, do you honestly think we wouldn't have been shot? You personally.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot of people saying that on Instagram.
It's a fact. It's a full-blown fact.
If it was,
you would have been shot dead.
Like a revolution of 30,000 black people taking over the Capitol, they would have like choppers and tanks and.
It would have been an actual revolution, more than that lady that got punched in the face because she tried to snatch a woman's phone. It would have been way more than that.
So many separate, idiotic personalities piling out of that Capitol building after. But my thing is, the Senate meeting was able to resume 2 hours later, and those people didn't do anything. They stole a podium. What did they do? What was the point of that?
Because those people were in that Senate meeting and they knew all of those people was in that Senate meeting, they knew that was a type of opportunity. Donald Trump let them know that was an opportunity where they could get in there.
That is so crazy.
Come on, how can you not see of how orchestrated that was? That was a band.
Oh, it was orchestrated, yeah.
A puppet master saying, play these notes right here for me. And these idiots did it.
But what did they do other than prove that the police treatment of the separate riots is different? They proved that.
That's
point.
exactly what they proved.
Was
But
that
I
the
don't
point?
think that was the point they were trying to get at.
That's what
though.
I'm trying to say. Like, what was the mastermind's purpose of doing this?
That they thought that would actually start something that they wanted to start, and it didn't. So now that it's backfired, they're like, okay,
Is it just like a social experiment to see? I mean,
what has happened? It was a definitely experiment
that's
because the president that is has divided the country racially said so, and he gave him permission to do it. Proud Boys, stand up, stand down. That's
not
what
only that, his separate responses to the different riots.
Since it's happened.
Yeah.
I mean, it's come on now, it's evident.
Yeah, so Pecos Bill and them broke into the Capitol building. Had to open up with that. That's not breaking news at this point. But
One more thing, the FBI actually said the people that broke into the White House, they want information on finding out who did this, and they need to know who did this.
Yeah, where did?
And I saw a picture on Instagram of who did this. I'm seeing pictures of people taking pictures in Nancy Pelosi's office.
Yeah.
How can they even, like, that's how you know it was orchestrated, government orchestrated.
I agree. But
We get into that. We're going to leave that alone.
Yeah.
We about to hoop real quick. I'm about to cross somebody over.
First, we owe an apology to somebody.
Who is it?
Head coach Ryan Day and the Ohio State Buckeyes. We didn't mention them. We didn't give them a chance. They showed out against Clemson. And the big tipping point in that game was Skalski, the linebacker, getting thrown out after he put the big hit on Justin Fields and hurt his back.
Don't care.
You're not a fan, or you are a fan? You think that was warranted?
One, I'm not a fan of soft football, like what they call bad call. I don't care about that.
We were watching it together. You know I was disgusted with that.
Bad call. I understand all that. Outside of that, you have a whole team of football players that can play the game. Cross that out. Don't blame it on one man that you lost a big title football.
But that same drive, the commentators were even saying that
I don't give a
James
damn what
Skalski was
the commentators are not the ones on the field playing football.
But they were just letting us know that he is calling the shots. He's calling these defensive audibles, James Skalski. It's his responsibility.
It doesn't matter.
He's the captain. That's different than another guy going down.
They are all playing football out there. I'm not going to give one man's responsibility and to say why they lost the football game, especially as to how Ohio State brutally beat them up the entire game.
Yeah. And it's Clemson, so of course there's a next man up situation.
Exactly.
But not every team's Clemson.
Exactly, but we're talking about Clemson.
That rule, though, is what I'm talking about. I don't like that. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It's a tough hit.
Poor call. I would have never lasted in the NFL if I'd have ever made it.
Yeah, you're Trevathan.
I am. Montez perfect.
My apologies to Mr. Sermon. My apologies to Mr. Olave. My apologies to Justin Fields. I overlooked you, and I am sorry.
Justin Fields, big up. I was not a doubter.
Great deep balls. They were all
throw
on
the
point.
ball.
He can sling that
thing.
thing.
He can throw it, and
no ducks. You
IQ high.
Go above Kyle Trask in that NFL draft, I think. I mean, I know there's other quarterbacks that Wilson, a few that's getting looked at. Justin Fields, we were
talking about Trevor Lawrence being the number one pick as the best quarterback in the NFL. After what Ohio State's defense did to them, and him being able to do what they did to Clemson, I mean, why is he not the number one quarterback?
Before we start talking about the Trevor Lawrence situation, I want to talk about Bama and Ohio State. Go ahead and give you a prediction. Give a point total prediction.
I got Ohio State in 4.
You got it by 4?
Mm-hmm.
And what, in the 30s and the 40s? What's the point total?
I got Ohio State by 4.
You got Ohio State winning.
Mm-hmm.
They got a lot of momentum.
23-27.
I think it'll be a slightly higher scoring game.
I don't think so because everybody thinks it's going to be a high-scoring game, and that's not going to be the case. Both of these teams actually has defenses.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be as high as everyone thinks it's going to be, personally. But
both of these offenses are high-powered.
Both of these defenses are saying, "I want to stop you."
It's going to be a good one. Just because Ohio State came out of nowhere.
Not necessarily. Their defense been playing ball all year.
We all expected Clemson, Bama.
Of course, we expected Clemson, Bama, but when you look at what's going on now in the final game, Ohio State they're not backing down. They're ready.
They're there.
They're ready.
It's going to be a good one to watch. So, on to... Well, I wanted to congratulate Devontae Smith on the Heisman win. First wide receiver since Howard in Michigan. And, I agree with that pick, too. I would have voted for Devontae.
I agree with it for what we got to see. Yeah. But if we would have gotten to see...
Trevor Lawrence the whole year? Or who?
Not Trevor Lawrence. Justin Fields the entire year. You got to remember, he only played 6 college games this year. 6.
But that last performance that we've seen, this is being filmed on January 8th. So the last performance was the game against Notre Dame. He had 3 touchdown passes or catches, and the one tippy toe on the sideline where he dragged the other foot, like the NFL ready catch. Mm-hmm. That's what won him the Heisman, in my opinion.
And no, I get it, and I that's why I say Justin Fields only had 6 games.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he would have had a whole lot of more plays and highlights to be able to prove his point for a Heisman Trophy run.
Yeah.
So, but I understand why they picked who they picked.
The question that upset me the other day is on ESPN. They were saying, is Trevor Lawrence the best player to not win a Heisman? And my answer is no.
How is that?
Terrible no. They must have just had nothing.
I think it's hundreds of people that could have won the Heisman.
And that's why I spent a lot of time writing this down. So just bear with me, and you could input whenever you feel free. These are examples of other better examples of Trevor Lawrence, of college players that did not win the Heisman.
Gotcha.
Marshall Faulk, his second game as a freshman at San Diego State, set freshman records for yards and TDs with 386 yards and 7 touchdowns. His second game in college. That's just one stat from Marshall Faulk. And I'll have one little stat from all these guys. Larry Fitzgerald at Pitt set an NCAA record for consecutive games with a touchdown. 18 games with a touchdown catch.
I remember that.
Drew Brees at Purdue. Left Purdue leading the Big Ten all-time leader in attempts, completions, passing yards, and touchdown passes. Steve McNair at Alcorn State would have been probably the best pick on this list for a Heisman. Alcorn State Heisman, that's great. I would have loved to see that. Recruited by Florida to play defensive back in high school, but he turned it down to play quarterback at Alcorn State, recording 53 touchdowns his senior season. LaDainian Tomlinson at TCU led the nation in rushing for 2 years. Steve Young at BYU, quarterback, senior year, threw for 3,902 yards, 33 TDs, completing an NCAA record 71.3% of his passes that year. Next, Adrian Peterson. He finished second in Heisman voting as a freshman, and collarbone and other injuries slowed his college career down, but he still had a great showing those next 2 years. But that freshman season, he could have won the Heisman easily. Next is Jim Brown at Syracuse, the best athlete of his time, and he was a tremendous back, but he also kicked field goals. He was a renaissance man. He did it all. He's just a great all-around athlete, Jim Brown.
Gotcha.
Never won the Heisman. Randy Moss. You don't even have to give an example on Randy Moss. But
he has his own portion on Monday Night Football. You got Moss.
Yeah, you got Moss. And he was at Marshall. So you always root for some of these explosive, small team guys to get a Heisman. Next is something I really remember, and I wanted and thought that he should have been a Heisman winner, is Ndamukong Suh at Nebraska. That was so dominant. 2009 says Ndamukong Suh. What I wrote down is he had 4.5 sacks in the Big 12 championship game. He was just on a different level.
I mean, I got so many other players that could have won a Heisman more than
Deion Sanders had 1,429 punt return yards.
2 years.
Yeah.
I think he could have won it 2 years over Trevor Lawrence's one.
Peyton Manning at Tennessee left with the conference, and not just any conference, SEC record, 11,020 yards of total offense. Peyton Manning never won the Heisman.
Wow, that's
Vince Young didn't win the Heisman. And I already mentioned what I think about Vince Young. I mean, Texas versus USC is probably my pick for the greatest football game ever. Maybe Boise State OU or something like that. But
in your day, I mean, I get what you're saying,
yeah.
and it's one of the best,
and
one of the most exciting.
The last on the list, it has an asterisk next to it. Reggie Bush. He had to technically give his Heisman Trophy back. So, if you count him,
he's still a Heisman Trophy winner in my eyes.
He won it.
Like,
he's the greatest college football player I've ever seen.
You're gonna make someone give a Heisman Trophy back because of
they took money like everyone else.
They took money like everyone else, and
that's just
that
like
doesn't stop the performance on the field.
That's like Lance Armstrong. You're gonna take away his thing. He was
better
roided up than your roided up guy.
That's true.
Everyone else is roided up too.
I don't know about the bicycle game, but roided up, when you talk about that, that's another. We're not talking about roided up, something
but
that's
taking away his thing for something that everyone else was doing too. That's my point. They took away his Tour de France's because he had steroids. Well, so did everyone else. He was better than your.
It wasn't proven that everyone else had something that would enhance their ability to pedal the bike faster. With Reggie Bush, the thing was he took some money to help feed his family while he was in school.
Yeah,
that's the thing. There's
a difference.
It's a difference.
You can see the similarity in the example.
But I understand what you're saying. And I mean, there were so many. Todd Gurley. Big ups to Todd Gurley. His freshman year at Georgia. Unbelievable stats. I can't go quite in depth to the numbers. And the year that he was going to win the Heisman, but they took him out because he signed the autograph and somebody gave him some money for signing the autograph. Deal. Yeah. Some bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Todd Gurley, there's so many other people.
That being said, Trevor Lawrence is not the greatest player to not win a Heisman.
Far from it.
Far from it. He's at the bottom of that list, and there's more that I left off the list.
True indeed.
So
up next, he's not even a conversation.
Just as Trevor Lawrence, on to the NFL talk we go. This coming Saturday, we're filming this on Friday, so tomorrow we got 3 games.
Big up, we got NFL.
We got your Buffalo Bills against the Phillip Rivers-led Indianapolis Colts.
Buffalo taking them out.
Buffalo all the way by 14, 21, what?
I see Buffalo by 10.
Buffalo by 10. Okay.
A full game, they're gonna dominate the whole game and win it by double digits.
I think Zach Moss is gonna do something. I'm putting him in my FanDuel lineups. Speaking of FanDuel, I feel so good. I won the little first NBA week in FanDuel, and I could not. And it was because of Kobe White. And that's why I'm happy. Kobe showed out and had 36 the other night. Did you see that stat line?
About time. Kobe, we counting on you, boy.
Let's go. God bless him.
We watching you.
That's so awesome. And it's kind of sad to see Markelle Fultz go down with injury.
Yeah, I hate to see that.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
And one of his best years of his career, he's starting to come along.
He was just coming out of his shell, and
he go down like that. I hate to see that.
I hope he comes back healthy, and in a year, I hope he takes his time, rehabs, and comes back. But in the between time, that gives Cole Anthony a chance to really get the playing time he needs to develop.
He needs 2 to 3 years. So
yeah, he'll get there. I mean, he could make a surprising leap just like Kobe did. I didn't think Kobe was going to be scoring 36. You know,
I knew he was capable of handling that within his second year. Yeah,
that's awesome to see.
But at the same time, it's not like he's going to have some astonishing season this year because there's too much around him and the NBA for him to have. Like, he's going to be...
Yeah, but let's continue the NFL stuff. I got a whole page of
Let's
NBA.
do it.
Rams Seahawks tomorrow.
Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. DK Metcalf.
So,
my God.
Jalen Ramsey. If you're the Rams, do you put Jalen Ramsey on DK or do you put Jalen on Tyler Lockett? What do you do?
You got to put him on DK. No one else on the Rams staff, as far as the defense goes, can handle DK.
I don't even know if Ramsey can like that.
He can't, but he's going to come the closest.
That's the best pick of last draft.
He's going to have a couple penalties like he does. The thing is with Ramsey, this is why I love him the most. He don't care who you are.
Yeah,
if he has to get a penalty to stop you from catching the ball, he'll do so.
I mean, I'm putting disrespect on his name saying that he can't guard DK because he guarded DeAndre Hopkins. If you can guard DeAndre Hopkins, you can guard anybody.
Say it.
You know?
Say it.
Yeah.
I agree.
So do the Rams have a chance with that defense? Or you're going Seahawks?
I mean, it's going to be a close game, but yeah, I'm still going Seahawks with the victory.
1 touchdown game, what?
Yeah, 1 touchdown game.
Okay. Bucks against the football team. There's a bunch of trash talking going back and forth between. Well, it's not really trash talking. It's good talking.
Listen, let me tell you something.
I like Chase Young.
I'm a defensive specialist. Defense wins championships.
You can suit up for the football team.
They give me a shot, I'll suit up. But listen, I'm going out on a whim and saying Washington defense keeps Tampa Bay to a close game. And if it's a close game on the end, Alex Smith is going to finish them and win by 3.
Alex Smith is a great story.
Great story.
One of the better stories of the past few years. That's so good.
Great story to see someone come from under an injury like that and be playing in the playoffs. I mean, to be playing football as a whole right now after an injury like that is, it's astonishing. And then to be in the playoffs and you got a defensive, personnel like Chase Young and taking care of business to where, come on, like that's energy. That's energy he's going to feed off of. Like, I don't think it's impossible that Washington can't beat Tampa Bay. Tom Brady's not unstoppable. Now, granted, he's the GOAT, and I respect him 100%, but he is not unbeatable.
He's not unbeatable, but I got him going far in the playoffs. He knows what time it is.
It's that time of the year where win or go home. So it's not impossible. If they don't completely blow the Washington Redskins out, Washington Redskins defense wins the game in the end. That's the 3-point game.
Okay. I got the Bills mollywopping the Colts. I got the Rams beating the Seahawks. I'll give them 7-10 points.
Okay.
On the Seahawks, and I got the Bucks beating the football team. Pretty good. I think Antonio is looking like Blade out there. He's the real deal. He's back. I fell asleep watching Blade the other day. Great movie. Sunday, Ravens-Titans. I think that's going to be the best game and the one to watch. They're both going to be fighting.
I still got the Ravens pushing the point, trying to win a game, so I'm going to take the Ravens on that one.
Me too. Bears-Saints. Saints killing the Bears.
Their defense is what they live off of, and that hasn't been looking up to par lately. I mean, we act like Mitchell Trubisky's actual quarterback. Like I think he honestly should be playing offensive line. But
Trubisky.
I don't think his IQ was up there. But I don't see Chicago really winning that game at all.
Yeah, I got the Saints mollywhopping them. Steelers Browns round 3 on Sunday. Seeing if everyone can get over COVID. Who you got?
One, Cleveland is already trying to make up excuses not to play the game. Our coach has got COVID. He can't come to the game. We can't talk to the head coach and all of this stuff. And none of the players on the field got COVID, and they're going to be out there playing.
Get a walkie-talkie. Let them watch the game from home and call it from home. Like these broadcasters are. They're live.
They act like... Okay. When they're calling plays, they got a whole booth of offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators in every box that's really calling a play.
Mm-hmm.
Because the head coach ain't there, you mean to tell me you're going to lose a playoff game and ain't none of your personnel out?
They haven't been practicing, though. That's the one thing that sucks.
Man, you've been practicing all year.
They're fresh
this is
now.
week 18.
Yeah, they're fresh. There's strategies to implement,
This is
small
week 18.
film room things that you can do that they're not doing.
They can watch film
I guess like
from
Zoom,
the house.
Zoom meetings.
Call me. Hey,
yeah.
look at the come on now.
Yeah.
Technology.
Yeah.
They was watching film on the other team while they was playing the last game. Come on now. You can't make those excuses.
But
We're making excuses.
Even with no
these guys.
excuses, the Steelers are going to win that football game.
I follow. They had 3 wide receivers with over 800 yards this season.
Yeah.
3 of them.
Well, Claypool, Johnson, and Juju.
Mm-hmm.
And Ebron had a good year as well.
People don't look at that. Now I'm not excusing Pittsburgh for all year. I didn't think they was the team that everybody was building them up to be because they were undefeated at a point. They were barely winning. But, when we come to the playoffs and the Pittsburgh Steelers tradition, Mike Tomlin, I think, can find a way to beat the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Browns don't have a chance. They're going home.
Right.
You're going to rethink what they got going on, draft a couple guys, and try next year. I think they're going to try to make a couple round playoff push next year. They'll have the personnel. Odell back. They draft another piece for the defense.
If Odell wants to come back.
If Odell comes back, yeah. Other big news before we're done with NFL, Deshaun Watson is saying that he wants out. Possible destinations for Deshaun. If you're Jacksonville, would you consider trying to trade for Deshaun and drafting someone else, drafting Devontae Smith or one of these playmakers? Or if you're New York,
it's so many teams.
If you're Miami,
it's so many teams.
Do you trust Tua?
Every team you just named. I mean, even when it comes down to the Carolina Panthers, are you going to run with Teddy Bridgewater?
The Bears.
The Bears. Are they actually considering Mitchell Trubisky being their starting quarterback for the future? He's worse than that guy they was playing on. That's the Bears tradition, though. What was the guy name that they was paying all that money all those years that couldn't win? And
Jay Cutler
had crazy defenses.
Jay Cutler
every year and could not get past the first round.
He had what's the guy? Oh man, I'm spacing on his
Brian
name.
Urlacher.
Yeah, Urlacher. Yep, Jay Cutler. What a flim schlamigan.
A Slurs McGurskin.
On to the NBA. And speaking of, I got my little Hornets hat on. The Ball brothers are playing each other for the first time in there. That's a milestone right there. We're going to see that time and time to come.
This is going to be something we're
going
to have to watch.
10 years, we're going to see the Ball brothers.
Big up to LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball, Papa Ball.
He put a couple out there. All that shit he talk.
And the other one just signed with the G League, Jello. He signed to the G League.
Right, he's a bum. But the thing is,
it's like a poor man's Klay Thompson.
He's like a brother that should start running some businesses and not trying to play basketball. Nah, like he's just not he's just not good enough to compete in the NBA. Now, if he works at it for maybe 4 or 5 years.
And I think he was the one that was stealing sunglasses or something overseas.
I mean, if he didn't have no money, he stole some sunglasses. I'm not gonna fault. I'm not.
But no, he got money. He's just like, he don't have money. He got money.
At the same time, if you stealing some sunglasses and he's
trying
money,
to be stupid.
He would no. I think he just felt like he was.
But that's
a ball brother.
That's irrelevant.
He was a ball brother, and he felt like he could just probably walk out
with him. That's irrelevant, though. He can't make it.
Basketball wise, he's not NBA. I mean, I think Lonzo is overrated personally.
He's gonna grow into something.
I mean, he's been in the league a few years, and I hope he grows into something. But Melo
is next level already.
He's the future.
Yep. And I hope that inspires Lonzo to keep going and keep getting better. But yeah, they're in there playing right now for the first time. Hornets against the Pelicans.
Pelicans. January 8th, 2021.
So as of now, the Eastern Conference hasn't much changed. It's Philly at 7-2, Orlando at 6-2, Fultz with the torn ACL, Cole Anthony coming up, like we said.
Brooklyn.
Number 3 is Indiana at 6-2, and they don't have anybody. They have a ghost Oladipo. He was a superstar like a couple years ago, but he fell off. T.J. Warren's out. Brooklyn, they had to sit Kyrie for something personal. He probably caught something on fire. Burning
sage and shit in the locker room. He caught his jersey on fire, so he couldn't play.
In the garage. That's caught his Tesla on fire.
Crazy. Kyrie, stop doing that shit. Just play basketball.
Yeah.
You hear me?
And KD's been sitting out too, so they've been counting on Karis LeVert.
I really think that's preparation for playoffs. I honestly don't think that's a whole bunch
it's just happenstance. I don't know what Kyrie's doing. He's in his own world. But KD, something happened with KD too, like some COVID-related thing. He had to sit out for.
He was probably around the family member that had COVID, and it was like, boom, a way to sit out some games when the playoffs
But there's no worry of them making the playoffs in the crappy East. The East is still terrible.
Man, let me tell you something. There will be a Brooklyn Nets, Los Angeles Lakers, New York, Brooklyn, the Meccas. I mean, New York, Los Angeles,
LA.
Pardon me. New York, LA, the Mecca. NBA Finals coming in May.
I could throw a kink in there. What if James Harden gets traded to the Boston Celtics? For Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart.
Still don't see it.
With a healthy Kemba.
Still don't see it.
Harden and Tatum. No?
Not enough for KD and Kyrie.
Fair enough. But I would like to see Celtics-Lakers finals again, just because that's my favorite.
I got Brooklyn taking over. I got killing Madison Square Garden. We done with Madison Square Garden. Knicks, you out of here.
But really, some exciting news. I don't know if you saw this. Austin Rivers has been stepping up. He took over in the fourth quarter the other day, and he plays for the Knicks. He's looking like he's going to be their point guard going forward.
He's getting older now, so his career's almost over. Brooklyn.
You're with Brooklyn now. All right. Fair enough. Got your little Cleveland Cavaliers hat on.
I got my Cleveland Mitchell in that song.
We both got terrible team hats on, but it's cool.
I got that on to cover up the bald head,
We're
so I
rocking
don't.
with it.
So I ain't shining on camera like I got a whole globe on my head.
No. On to the West. We got 6-2 Phoenix, and they're real. They're real. I was watching their highlights the other day. Devin Booker's kind of staying in the cage a little bit. He's not unleashing on everybody, trying to get 60 like some of these guys are.
That's because he has a big man.
Yeah,
His big man is actually playing.
Big man.
2, he has a vet and Chris Paul.
Shooters, yeah. He has Chris Paul controlling the tempo.
That's right. So he knows now. That's the experience and the thing that I like about Devin Booker. Devin Booker is going to win him at least one title before.
I agree.
Even if it's not with Phoenix, he's going to win him a title before.
It should be with Phoenix. Phoenix has had some great basketball teams over the years and never a championship. They had Charles Barkley and Tom Chambers and those guys. They had Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash. But never saw a championship.
You got Steph and whatever he got going on.
It's a lot going
KD
on.
and Kyrie, what he got going on. And then LeBron. This is the thing with LeBron. Remember where you heard it first. LeBron is not leaving the NBA until Bronny comes into the NBA. And he's going to shape him. This is what that legacy is about, that James legacy.
Do you think LeBron's going to get into coaching, or is he just going to go do something else in retirement?
I would like to see him coaching, but I think he is a little too biased to coach. I think his opinion on certain players' games and certain teams, I think it's going to be a little bit too biased, and then you got your son. If he's not coaching Bronny, he don't need to be coaching.
What if Bronny comes up to the league and gets drafted by the Lakers? Let's say LeBron stays in LA until then. LeBron retires as a player after 1 year with Bronny playing and continues to coach for the Lakers, coach his son.
Now that's what I think, that's the plan that they're trying to put
if that's
together.
what he wants to do.
I think that's what they're trying to put together. I agree with that plan. But does
beautiful.
it happen?
I hope so. In a
I don't
perfect
know.
world. We're not in a perfect world.
Exactly. We're not in a perfect world. They just broke in the White House and called themselves protesters.
Bunch of Huckleberry Finns without a GED. Oh, dude. No.
Oh, my God.
Dude, they had sticks and spears. Guy kicked his muddy boots up on the desk and took a picture for Instagram. What a loser.
How was he not shot in the face?
Oh. With like they should have lasers in the yard that come out.
How did this man get in a political person's office, kick his feet up on the desk, and he's not shot in the face?
And where do tax dollars go? And is the Secretary of Defense not
Donald Trump got the tax dollars. He got all of the tax dollars.
What's the Secretary of Defense's job? Are they not under fire now?
They get paid the same amount of money we do. They ain't getting paid no money to protect Donald Trump.
That's so crazy. Real quick, number 2 in the West is the Clippers at 6-3 with the masked Kawhi. Look like Bane out there. Number 3 is the Lakers at 6-3. What I want to see with the Lakers is a Carmelo trade.
To the Lakers for who?
Kuzma.
That one trade, you think Kuzma is a legitimate trade for Carmelo Anthony?
Yeah, because Carmelo has 1 or 2 years left. Kuzma has 7 or 8.
I think Kuzma has 1 or 2 years left. He's not that good now. I don't think he's
age-wise. I mean, he could be a viable
age-wise doesn't matter in the NBA. He could be.
But Kuzma's a good talent. I mean, for an Oklahoma City or some team that could use him.
Yeah, because I didn't expect Gallinari.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't expect Gallinari to last as long as he's lasted in the NBA.
He can shoot.
He could shoot, but that don't get you in it like a longevity in the NBA no more because
I think
everybody can shoot.
Kuzma's a good talent though.
He's a good talent, but
And Carmelo's done in a year or two. Let him sail into the sunset with LeBron.
I think Carmelo got 5 more years in him to play because he plays old man ball now.
Nah.
He don't just do like
I think he
can.
barely came back for this run.
I don't think so. And then you betting on Carmelo as a guy you know can give you this, versus betting on a Kyle Kuzma to where you really don't know what he's gonna give you.
He could blossom.
Of course he could blossom, but you still don't know what he's gonna give you. And if you're trying to win a title, you gonna go with somebody where you know what he's gonna give you, or you're not sure.
I wouldn't want to give up Dennis Schroeder if I'm the Lakers. I mean, I'm not giving up Montrezl Harrell.
I'll give up Kyle Kuzma and that little hustling.
Caruso.
Yep.
Yeah. But I would like to see Melo go to the Lakers before the end of the season. In the
I
trade deadline.
want the guard Melo with a title. I need the guard with a championship ring. Bron. Bring it to him. Help him. Pull him into the Lakers. We need Melo to get him one.
And LeBron can make it happen. He's pretty much the general manager of the Lakers, too. So,
he's the general manager wherever he goes.
as of right now, the scoring leaders, well, January 8th, like we said, the scoring leaders in the NBA, we're about 10 games in, roughly, depending on what team you're on. Bradley Beal is leading the NBA in scoring after that 60-point game. He has, he's averaging 34.3, 10 games in. Stephen Curry's second with 29.6 a game. James Harden, 29.4 at third. And Damian Lillard and Luka Doncic are tied at 4 with 27.6 points a game. So, MVP race. Who are you thinking after getting a good look at these guys?
Too early. Let me see what they talking about after the All-Star break.
I'm still thinking KD. KD
or Steph.
Or Steph. Because Curry...
I'm going to tell you why it's possibly going to be Steph. Because if the Golden State Warriors have a successful season, it's going to be because of Steph.
Mm-hmm.
The Brooklyn Nets can possibly have a successful season because of Kyrie, not just KD.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Steph is more important to the Warriors.
Is way more important too.
The assist count right now, Westbrook is up there, averaging 11.8 assists a game. But they're still losing. They suck. They have
the disrespect to Westbrook gotta stop.
He's a dog.
But I ain't gonna lie. The kid really don't got no jump shot.
No, it's broke. It's broke. But he got the soul there. That's what counts.
Oh man, but the bloody pumps.
Yeah, he's a dog. I love Westbrook.
Mm-hmm.
So check this. Westbrook is first in the NBA at 11.8 per game. James Harden is second in the NBA at 11 assists a game. James Harden. They were just saying that he don't pass the ball. He shoots too much. He's averaging 11 assists a game and 29 points a game.
I mean, one, he's got a guy like John Wall on his team now.
Yeah.
To where if he's got all the attention, if Harden's got all the attention, he's got a guy from Raleigh, 92 ways. He's got a guy from Raleigh that can put points on the board.
Mm-hmm.
And now with a healthy DeMarcus Cousins talking that shit he talking,
I love it.
That's pretty tough to deal with.
Yep.
Now, if the Houston Rockets keep him with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, and they start trending, they'll make a title run because they can beat the Lakers.
In the Western Conference Finals, it could be Lakers Rockets. Hopefully, if it pans out that way in seeding, I'd like to see that.
I mean, 1, 2, 3 is Lakers, Rockets, Golden State in any fashion. That's 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it depends how Golden State meshes and how the Rockets mesh.
Mm-hmm. We already know what the Lakers going to give us, but it's between the way the Rockets and Golden State do what they need to do throughout the year. So,
last I had written down that Joker's third in the NBA at 10.9 assists a game. That's pretty impressive too. I like watching the Nuggets play. Jokes, he's a different breed.
mm-hmm.
You don't see a guy like that that can pass the ball.
Right.
Anything you want to talk to these people about before we head out?
Not really. Continue watching. Make sure you pay attention, people, to what's going on in America today, because that's very, very important.
And don't just watch one news outlet. Watch multiple news outlets, or find something that you could trust on Instagram. That's where I get most of my news, is Instagram. But I don't believe just one person. I gotta, like I said, I'm a conspiracy nerd. I gotta hear it from other people.
I mean, if you're paying attention to what's going on, you'll be able to formulate your own opinion.
Yeah.
And what matters in your life is what, the opinion that you choose to run with. Now, most stuff is obvious. It's just people don't want to run with the obvious. When, just like what happened at the Capitol, we got people calling them protesters when it's obvious what happened. And when they got punched in the face, or one or two of them got, shot with rubber bullets, they're going crazy, and our people get gunned down by police officers on a regular basis. So, I mean, if you want me to care about you getting punched in the face or something like that, you miss me with that. But we're going to go outside of politics. I don't want that to be a basis of discussion on tremendous opinion.
What a time we're living in, though.
I mean, it's
2020 went into OT.
2020 has gone into overtime.
But
everybody, what you gonna do?
We're still here, kicking through it.
We in overtime right now.
I told Berg to bring a couple of pairs of shoes for next episode. We're gonna bring some more shoes out. And today I went shopping around with my sister, got some new vinyls, like some vinyl records. I'm into music. We'll break out a couple vinyl records and talk a little music next episode too. So until then, man, stay safe. Don't believe everything you hear, and keep rocking. Love you guys. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.